Hey everyone, the name is Kris Barocsi. Welcome to Gear Corner. Today, we're checking out a brand new preamp pedal by VS Audio. It's called the JangleMaster, which kind of already tells you what kind of amp in a box it is. But before I tell you more about that, I want to show you how it sounds in a band mix, and you let me know in the comments below what kind of amp it reminds you of. I guess it's pretty obvious at this point that it's an AC30 style amp in a box pedal. The JangleMaster is the second pedal in this range of preamps that VS Audio made. Even though it's really straightforward and easy to tweak, not a lot of knobs and options, it's still very versatile. You can use it in three different ways. First of all, you can plug it into the input of an amplifier. The second is you can plug it into the effects return of an amplifier, which connects this to the power amp of the amp and makes this essentially the tone shaper, the preamp of your rig. And the third thing is you can obviously just ignore amps and go straight from the JangleMaster into an like a cab simulation pedal and keep your whole rig on your pedal board, having this as your one of your preamp options. If you have anything else, you can of course switch between those and just use some sort of a cab simulation pedal and ignore heavy tube amps and whatever, and just be really sort of versatile and compact about your rig. Now, the first thing I want to show is how it sounds as a preamp going into the power amp of the Rev. Actually, I'm using the Rev D40. I'm connecting the JangleMaster with its effects return, which essentially disables the preamp of the Rev, and we're going straight into the power amp. So all the voicing, all the EQ, all the drive comes from the JangleMaster, and the Rev provides the tube power amp thing, that warm sort of big amp tone plus the volume, but none of the voicing really. It's this is how the amp sounds right now. This is just the power amp. The JangleMaster is off. This is what happens if you turn on the JangleMaster. I connected the JangleMaster with the power amp of the Rev first because, I mean, it's a preamp pedal. It says it's a preamp. It has to be most ideal when there's no secondary voicing stage, which would be an additional preamp. In this case, that would be the D40s, the Rev D40s preamp. That's why I disengaged it by going from the JangleMaster straight into the effects loop return. that upper mid-range, that jangly thing that's so hard to grab or explain if you don't hear it. I definitely do hear it now, so that's really, really cool. So let's talk about the knobs and switches. First of all, you have two switches, both are relay silent switches, and the pedal is, by the way, true bypass. So this is the bypass knob with which you can engage or disengage the whole unit. Then you have the other switch, which is the boost. We'll talk about the boost in a second. The knobs are quite simple and straightforward. Gain and volume, then bass and treble, no mids, the same as on the original amps. And there's the cut, which is a high cut or presence or treble cut, however you want to name it. This is an inverse knob, same as on the amps. The more you crank it, the less highs you have because it's a cut. It's just so damn good. Now let's talk about that mini toggle between the volume and the gain knob. That two-way mini toggle allows you to use two different boosts which you can engage with the foot switch. So if you have it in the left position, you have a treble booster, that classic traditional awesome treble booster, and if you switch it to the right, then you have a full frequency classic sort of volume boost. That's it. And you can of course engage the boost with this foot switch turned on or off. So let's see how those work. I will go back with the gain because actually the boost is heavy, like it boosts a lot. So if you have the gain way down on the normal top boost side, you still have a lot of gain happening all of a sudden when you engage the boost. So this is going to be first the JangleMaster style treble booster, and then I'll flick over the switch to a full frequency volume boost. The JangleMaster, that treble booster, makes so much sense. It complements the EQ of that AC kind of drive and clipping so well, and it cleans up the low frequency range, which is just epic. Before we move on and before I show you how the JangleMaster sounds when it's connected in different ways to your rig, I want to plug in the Les Paul real quick just to show you how it sounds with humbuckers. Okay, now I'm plugged into the input of the amplifier, so that makes the signal chain going from the Tele into the JangleMaster into the standard input of the Rev D40 on the clean channel, and this is how that sounds. It definitely maintains its natural clipping, and all the frequencies are on the right place. One thing is interesting. I had to kind of get on the edge of breakup with the amp to make the JangleMaster sound as natural as it does right now. So with like a super high headroom amp, I'm pretty sure the JangleMaster would sound different. I would definitely try to go with the amp that you're using, in case you're going into the preamp of that amp, to like some sort of a edge of that breakup, right? It's still clean, but starts to break up on the bridge pickup, for example, like this. I love how it sounds without the boost. Let's check out with the boost. And finally, let's check out how the JangleMaster sounds with a cab simulator without an amp. This could be like a really compact and very treble friendly sort of pedal board rig. We have some pedals in front and after the JangleMaster, like overdrives, fuzz, or delay, whatever you put around that. That's like your amp's preamp. And then at the end, you go into something like the aux stomp. Now, of course, you can use the Warus Audio ACS1, you can use like the Takalis multicab or any other cab simulation pedals. This is just an example. It's a really fine one, but you know, all of these will sound really good. So I have the guitar going into the JangleMaster, going into the aux stomp, and from there I'm going straight into my interface, the Apollo X4. I don't have any amps or any other things involved. My thoughts and impressions on the JangleMaster. It's one of those few pedals that actually gives me the vibe of playing a cranked AC amp, which is a really hard task because I guess that kind of crunch, the kind of gain, that upper mid-range, jangle, whatever you want to call it, that is just so hard to nail, I guess, especially without that full tube circuit that like the amps have. The JangleMaster is awesome in more than one way of using it, which is again something that not every preamp does well. It sounds amazing into the effects loop of my actual amp. It sounds equally awesome straight into the aux stomp. So just these two pedals, no amp involved, nothing at all. Really, really great way of getting away with not using an actual amp and still getting very close to that AC kind of clipping, that kind of super cool low to high gain drive sound. And it still even works in front of the amp, just like an overdrive pedal, which again, it's the hardest to get right if you go for like a preamp tone in a pedal, because if you go with your preamp style pedal into the preamp of another amp, then into the power amp, that's just double the trouble. It's usually a little artificial, but it works really well. The color scheme is, you know, it's a matter of taste. I maybe would have went for another yellow or I don't know, but you know, it's awesome, it's unique, and it doesn't really matter because what really counts is what's inside. And oh, by the way, let me show you some close-ups of the inside. All I see are a lot of really high quality Japanese parts, the alcos and some other things inside. There's this what's it called, triad magnetic sort of a something. That thing, you'll have it on screen, that is just like one of the things that make this pedal sound so amp-like. At least that's what the guys at VS Audio say, and since it sounds awesome, I feel like it's confirmed. Yeah, let me know what you think about the JangleMaster in the comments below, and see you in the next video next week. Bye bye.